All right, guys, we're going to focus on just little parts of the serve to build it up. And this part is just the toss, okay? We're not going to talk about anything but the toss right now. So one thing we have to think about is we want a simple machine for the toss, meaning the more moving parts, the harder it will be to serve or to get a toss in the right spot. So think about a simple machine when we toss. So we're going to toss with just our arm hinging here, not bending here or flipping our wrists. We want to keep these still and nothing is moving. A lot of players will use their legs to toss the ball. Nothing moves except for this. It's a lot easier to place something up in the sky in the same spot every time if we have less moving parts, okay? So think about that, but before we get into the toss more, think about trying to figure out where you need to hit the ball. So we got to get to the ball. We want to be here. We want the strings to be facing our target, slightly facing down and reaching. So look how in front of that for me that is, and for anybody. So the idea is we need to toss that in the right spot too. So in this, you can have a great swing in serving, but if your toss is crummy, you're not going to be that good at serving. So that's why we're starting with the toss. So the idea is when I throw that ball up, I want to make sure I'm trying to think about where I'm going to hit that or where I want that ball to be. So that ball was over here, not so good. That ball was too low. This ball is too back, right? So we want to make sure we're in the spot, there it is, where we can be over our shoulders and really reaching for that, okay? So how that looks now that you know where to go and have a simple machine, is we're going to cock our wrists back. And the reason we do that is if you keep your wrists straight and throw the ball up, I want you to hang on to the ball as long as you can for the toss. So if you do that and you let go here, where's the ball always going to go? Behind you, right? But if you bring your wrist back, you can hang on to the ball as long as you can and then let go and it'll still go straight up, straight down. So imagine you're tossing, the ball is through, there's a pull through the ball and you're just sliding it up the pole. So you got to keep your wrist back to do that, okay? So we're going to hold on the ball as long as we can because that way we have control. It's a little windy today, so we don't want to, if I let go too early, the wind has more of an advantage to move the ball. But if I hang on to it, then the ball will not move, right? It's in my hand. It's blowing hard right now. I have it in my hand. So as long as I have it in my hand, I have control. So I'm going to let go above my head. All right, so it looks like this, where my arm is straight, let go, and notice that I'm holding the ball with my thumb and fingers, okay? That's very important because I don't want it to roll off my hand. Very hard to place something in the sky in the same spot by rolling it off. So I'm going to let go of my fingers and thumb at the same time so the ball won't have a lot of spin on it. So watch, I go straight up and I'm here. Straight up, straight down, right? The only other thing is where you're going to toss the ball. I see a lot of players wanting to toss the ball over here and then they try to hit it. That's really hard to do. I'd encourage you to maybe toss at a 45-degree angle to your target, which is the camera. This is the baseline. There's my target. In between is there. If you want to do in front here, I like to toss right in front where I can see my target and I'm in front right in here. But either way, the idea is I want to be up in front where the ball will be reaching out in front of me so I can go get it. All right, another thing you could do is practice this by putting a racket down in front of you where you're going to toss and do your motion. So you'll have to we'll talk about the motion later, but the idea is once you get that motion down, because a lot of players practice their toss like this, and they try to hit the racket that's on the ground like this, and they're like, oh, I got it. And that doesn't work very well because when you place a racket on the ground, I don't know if I'm going to move the camera down so you guys can see it a little bit. There you go. So the idea is, this racket is down on the ground. We're not tossing it like this, trying to hit it, right? We got to do our motion so we can see where our toss is, so we can practice this in our basement, right? So then I want you to use your racket too. So you're gonna go here like you're gonna hit it, and that looked pretty good. So the idea is I'm tossing up and I'm letting go and I'm just looking where it's landing so I have an idea of how well I'm doing, okay? So you have to learn to do the motion so the toss is consistent. Do not start the swing, other than bringing your racket up, I guess, until you're comfortable with the toss. You have to be able to toss correctly to have a good serve. So please try that first, and then we'll dive into the swing, okay? Good luck.